I'd done medicine for what, 5, 6 years, and I was tired. I, I did it all basically, I ran the organization by myself. I was the head of it, and then all of a sudden Stonewall happened, and everything wanted to change. And they thought I was very old because back then I was 32, 33 years old, and they were 23 years old, and they thought I was old fart, that the whole nothing was relevant anymore, stuff like that, and basically I was tired, and I wanted out, and I wanted to do something else because I can't do things forever and ever and ever. I want different lives, and so I always wanted to be a bartender, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do, so I did that. In the first organization, when I got involved there, everybody wanted to do something about gay life, and they all felt this should be done, that the police should be stopped, this should be stopped, the other should be stopped. They wanted to do it, and they'd love to do it, but they couldn't, because in those days, I came from Kentucky, and I came all by myself here. I didn't have a relative here in town, and I never had a job where I really cared about a job. I mostly just made money so I could have a good time and things like that. And I did a crappy little job. If I hated it, I took another job. I changed it. And it meant nothing to me in my life, things like that. But these people have real jobs like teachers and lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. And they wanted somebody to do something, but they couldn't do anything. I can't do it. I can't do it. And also, medicine began at it worked 5 days a week, or 6 days a week. It worked from 6 in the evening till 9 in the evening. Everybody else worked 9 to 5. And I inherited, my mother died, and I inherited a little bit of money. So I said, why don't we can't have a demonstration, we can't have anything going unless we're open during the daytime. Because the media calls, they want to talk to you, there's got to be somebody to talk. There's got to be somebody to answer the telephone. And people read about it. We want people to know what a gay organization is. The media calls, they want to, what is this media? What's the organization? Somebody has to answer, and so I'll do it. And so I did. And so, but I said, there again, I say, people, nobody else could do it. They say, no, I can't. Well, I'm so sorry, I'd love to do it, but I got my job, I got my father, and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't. It wasn't I wasn't any smarter than anybody else. I wasn't any wiser, anything else. I was just an idiot. I would say, oh, yes, sure, I'll do it. What the hell, I'll do it. And so and that's how I became the star of the whole thing. And so people would call in the middle of the night, and I'd say, sure, I'll do it. And I did, and I became the star of it. They could do their job. I mean, we actually get a lawyer. There were a lot of lawyers who were gay people, but they wouldn't because they were afraid that the bar association would fire them because they were gay, which they could do. And when we try to get people to come in and help entrapment, stuff like that, almost invariably we had to get straight people to take care of them because the gay people, oh no, I can't do it. I can't be seen. They'll think I'm part of it. I'll be connected with it. No, we were proud of the fact we had maybe 300 members, but most of them just paid money. But the volunteer people, there were usually maybe 20 people. They would do things, and they during newsletters, sat in the office and talked to people, had conversations with people who came in and talked to the gay organization. When we had demonstrations, some of them would go with demonstrations with us, and they were always very small, but they would go with it, and they tried as best as they could do. But like I say, they could have reasons they couldn't do it. The way the organization was set up, you couldn't reproduce yourself. And Julius's term was running out, and so he was trying to become somebody to be the head of organization of it, and he suggested I do it. I said, I know nothing about it. I've never done a thing like that in my life. I don't know anything about stuff like that at all. I can't do it. And he said, oh, you got to do it. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, well, you go ahead and do it, and I'll go on doing what I'm doing, and all you have to do is call yourself the president, and you and you have to sign things and use your pictures, and I'll do all the work that I'm doing right now. I said, hell, I can do that. That's easy. And so we started doing that. We had a board of trustees who were gay people. They were gay people, straight people, like people from Wardell Pomeroy, from Kinsey Institute, people like that, psychologists, doctors, lawyers, clergy people, all kind of people who believed in the organization, weren't members and stuff like that. And they gave us information. And so I did what I could. I said, look, hey, I got this job. I'm in charge of it. I don't know what I'm doing. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just a plain little cocksucker, you know. That's all I know. I don't know about intellectual, all this kind of stuff. I can't do it. Help me. And so they did. They were very nice. They all took me aside. They gave me conversations, hours after hours after hours. They took me around showing me leather bars, book bars, all kinds of bars, things like that. And I learned. I learned about gay life and learned about the whole thing. I mean, because, yeah, like in the organization, the drag queens hated the leather queens, and the leather queens hated the drag queens, and all, or thought they were tacky and all that kind of stuff. And my function was to try to get everybody involved, make the whole thing. And I did. I did the best I could, and tried to do the whole thing. Well, yeah. Well, we ran a meeting once a month with an ad in the Village Voice, where we're trying. Because one thing was to get people to talk about homosexuality, because nobody did, and most people didn't know what homosexuality was. First you had to tell them what it was, because people would say homosexual is illegal, and oh, that's disgusting. And you know, what is it? Well, I don't know what it is, but it's disgusting. And so we had to do that. And so we had these demonstrations where we talked about that. And in the beginning, when I got involved there, almost everybody there were all psychologists, and they're the kind of psychologists who thought you could help gay people. Because there used to be a liberal thing here, because everybody thought gay homosexuals are going to go to jail, should be put in jail, should be put in psychology, put in dead if you're Christian, all that kind of stuff. And somebody said, no, if we can help them, if we can help homosexuals stop being homosexuals, it'll be good. It's a wonderful thing for us. And so the psychologist everybody thought that was a stage. I thought it was not far enough. I thought homosexuality is not sickness at all whatsoever. And we talked about that. But anyway, the first people were psychologists. And I said, no, we can't do that. We have better stuff. So I tried to get different organizations to come and talk, to get plays, people write movie stars, people, anything that has something to do with homosexuality to talk. So we all talked. So that's one of the things we did. So and then in the organization, everybody had these other issues. Somebody had written a gay book. Somebody had written a gay book about religion, and so we used him, and we got an organization for a gay group, and we tried to get priests, Romans, Jews, any people connected with religion, come and talk about homosexuality, and we get groups to talk about what various religion talks about sexuality, and all. Roman Catholics came. They said, well, it's good to be. It's hell to go to all that kind, but you can be confession. As long as you're a confession, it's all right, and stuff like that. And they explained how they talked about it, and the other people. And the same thing with other classes, we did that. I'm sorry. Well, I was saying, that there's no place in the whole wide world that's all where gay people have an organization, where gay people meet together, where there's a gay church, a gay school, gay theater, no place that's a gay place where gay people can hang out. All they do is try to stop you from being homosexual, find reasons why you can't be homosexual. And the only place in the whole wide world that gay people can feel comfortable is in bars. You go to a bar, where there's gay bars all over the place. Maybe a full gay bar, maybe a half gay bar, but there's a gay place in the whole wide world. There's gay bars that you can go into. You walk in there, you're a total stranger you've never seen before in your life. You don't know where you are. You go in there, you're gay, they're gay. You got one thing combination right there. You got somebody to talk to. They might be cute. You might have sex with them. It might just be interesting. You have a good time with them. If you need a place to live, maybe they can find you a job. They give some idea. If you need a place to live, maybe they'll find you a place to live, or help you find a place to live. Anything you know, gay people will help together and become part of the group and thing. And so in effect, it's the only place in the world where all the races, all the horrible people can be together people. It's like a black organization where you go to the church. The church is the one free place where everybody can be, everybody does the same thing. That's real life. And that's why gay bars became gay bars and police entrapment became the issue to me. Other people had Washington D.C. They wanted to fight getting jobs for the federal government. I wasn't care about that particularly. The other organizations, they're against church, they're against that. That's not important to me. Important to me is the gay organization forming a communion, one place where gay people can go for a communion, basically for a community. And you can't have that if the police are against you, if everything like that. It's the only place like that, and that was the important thing to me, and that was Mattachine. And also we put out leaflets. We made at Mattachine, I made a leaflet. Like our lawyer made a leaflet, a little piece of paper that fell that big in 3 pages, and it told you if you're arrested by the police, don't say you're guilty. Say you're not guilty. Go the night to jail and wait for the trial, and we'll try to find you a lawyer. So get somebody to try to help you, because we're fighting this. We want to stop it. And the only way to stop it is to fight against it. And we pass these things every place. And everybody could put them in a little pocket and remember what it was and stuff like that. And the media got involved in it. And in those days, what's the right-wing newspaper now? It used to be the left page.
The Post. The Post.
Right. Oh, excuse me. I can't remember my names. I've been writing. James Wishler was the editor of that, and he was a very liberal sort of man. He's a very historic person too, but he was the editor of that thing, and so he did an issue once, a 5-piece thing about sexuality reality, and there's a picture of me. I write about homosexuality. I have a picture of Mattachine in it and all that kind of stuff, and he wasn't the editor who wrote it. He was the editor of the place. But anyway, I met him and in the street, and I interrupted him about he saw the article. He told me it was very good. And so we started chatting, and I started talking about it. And I said that we're involved in the Mattachine Society, and we're fighting against it. He said he knows about entrapment and how awful it is. And I said, well, we're fighting for it. He said, well, what can you do about it? And I said, well, the only thing we can do is tell people to fight against it. And in those days, you know how a telephone has a place has telephone rooms, and you're telling this person and start telling the other thing. I said, so what we do is also when the cops didn't work all the time, they took it easy and they did nothing. Half the month they do nothing. Last week they were going to arrest everybody, right and left. Oh my God, I missed my time. Oh, but Jesus' time. So they start calling everybody, putting everybody in jail. And so we could see what was happening because people called us because we asked them to. And the first part of the month, nobody called. All of a sudden, end of the month, everybody's calling, getting arrested. And he said, well, what can you do about that? And I said, well, why don't you get a newspaper and you come down to the Mattachine office on these days when this happens, this time of the country when it happens. And so I'll sit there, and when people call up and say, I got entrapment, and I want a police to come and help out, and I'll ask them to tell their story. And you can listen on the thing to what the story is. And then you go back and see the interview if you want to do that. And they say, oh, that's a great idea. So we did. We sat there, and it worked. And we sat there, and one after another, people calling all just exactly the way I said it was going to be. And so their big diva, their big star there was Pat. Their famous editorial was their diva, and he wrote a big article about that. Three articles about it. the other people in that thing wrote about it too, how wonderful it was. And so all of a sudden, Mayor Lindsay came and said, no, we're not going to have police entrapment. This is not going to happen. We're going to stop it. Because that punched the road. That's what really, well, it didn't really punch it. What happened was, as it happened, John Lindsay came and said, entrapment is not going to happen. Ever, 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 ever again. Well, it just so happens that on that night, at the same time he was saying on television, saying at this meeting we had in the village, talking about that, the same night that was happening, somebody entrapped a policeman. And he got a clergyman, and his boss was another clergyman who knew John Lindsay. So John Lindsay called in the middle of the night and said, hey, you know what you said? Well, they got another one going. So they had another meeting where the police came to the property. The police says they are not doing this. Never, ever, ever, ever they'll have entrapment again. Yeah. And they did. And that, incidentally, the man who was in charge of all that, John, he turned out to be a good guy. He was just a dumb guy. He didn't know about all that kind of stuff. The situation, that's what he had always done all of his life. But when he got burned on Lindsay on that, he felt very bad. He was about to lose his job. He was afraid of. And also, I chatted him and talked to him and told him things like that. And anyway, we became friends and I started talking with him. It just seems so good sense, so sensible. Like I say, you have to have some place to go hang out. Basically, that was the whole thing. You had to have some place to go out. And the bars where you hang out. Gay bar was our life, like I said earlier. That's our life. And we can't have them close these places. If that's closed, what do we do? Where do we go? We got to do it. And the city of New York not only had the police involved then, but also the liquor authority was in it. And they wanted to do, this is illegal. We got show power for one reason or another, sometimes just because the liquor authority would try to close the bar unless they gave them money, unless they could be, that's corrupt too. In New York, everything is corrupt. And a lot of that was plenty corrupt and all that kind of crap. And it was a situation. And anyway, it came to the point where if you went pick up in Central Park and had sex with somebody or were accused of having sex, it was your problem. If you did someplace that was your problem. If you do something in a liquor authority, then the place becomes disorderly. And then the liquor people get into it. And if you go in and you get arrested for prostitution, or you get entrapment, or if they're picking you for sex, and they fire you for having sex or for asking sex or asking for sex even, then the liquor bar gets closed too. And so when you got arrested, when you get entrapped, you got to go to court, stay for a week, and it takes 3 days, maybe a month before you have a law. They can't close the bar then because you have to prove that it's guilty. And so the bar would be in interim, finding out whether they're going to throw out, whether you're going to lose your job or you're not going to lose your job, basically. And so that was really, so they did the sensible thing, judges did, the bars did the sensible thing. They put little signs out front saying, if you're gay, don't go away. Or we're friends to gay, but don't come in, please. Because they knew the situation. Everybody knows the situation. And there was this bar on there was a bar on Greenwich Avenue that had a sign out front saying, if you're gay, stay away. And so Craig and John and I decided we got to do something about that. Now, what can we do about it? So we went to our lawyers, and our lawyers said, well, the issue is that you can't do a demonstration, and you can't do a medium with television or stuff like that, because a person who runs a bar has to keep the place disorderly. Has to be good manners. And if you have demonstrations and stuff like that, that makes the place automatically noisy and distractive. And so you got to do very quiet, very carefully. And so we just got 3 people, and we go to a bar, and we're going to ask for a drink, and give them a sign saying we're a gay organization. We know it's against the law to do that, but we want to be served anyway. Will you serve us drink? And so this place had to stand out front. So we decided we were going to go on noon and do that. And so being late, we were late. And we go into the New York Times is already there. We only brought the New York Times, the Village Voice, three newspapers, and one photograph. And that's all disorderly, to be orderly. And so, the mayor got there early. The media got there early and before us, and they walked in the door and said, "Hey, so what you doing about this gay demonstration out there?" The what? Oh my God, what? So they closed the place. It wasn't open that day. So we showed up, place is closed. So, and so what you gonna do, guys? I said, well, in a lot of gay situations, a lot of bars, they all know the situation, so we go to another one. So we went to this other one, which is notorious police sort of place. And we go in and we sat down and said we were gay. We wanted to get a sandwich and something to drink and something to drink liquor. And would they serve us? And they said, sure. Well, don't you know it's illegal? And so we went to get the manager, and this big old mafia comes out, big old guy. What's going on here? And we tell our little situation. He says, hell, how do I know they're homosexuals? Give them what they want for free. And so we ate and we drank, and this was the media, and didn't have a meeting, so we went to another place, to another bar. And the same thing happened. We go back and we try to get rejected, and they called the mayor, the boss, and the boss turned out to be a dishwasher. I think he was wearing dirty old whites, and he came out and he said, "Good God, everybody in Albany is gay. They wouldn't make a law like that. Give them what the hell they want." So we got it again too. We're standing on the street with nothing to drink, no decision, and all that kind of stuff. Then what are we going to do next? And we said, oh, well, we don't want to go to Julius's, but because Julius has gotten arrested, had got caught, and it's likely they were going to be closed. And all we were going to do was make more trouble for them. And we didn't want to make any trouble for them whatsoever. But we were desperate. We had a situation. So I walked in, and we said, our little situation, we wanted to drink. And in those days, more people seemed to have drank hard liquor. And it was set up the way when you came in and sat down, the bartender put a glass right in front of you and said, "Gentlemen, what will you have?" And I'll have a gin and tonic. And so they would reach over, they'd bring the ice and put it over there, and they'd bring the gin and put it over there, bring the scotch over there, bring the twist, put it, and do it right in front of you. And so we came walking in, we told them about a little sad story, they're going to be homosexual. Bang, he put a glass right over the door and said, it wasn't planned. He put the glass, I'm sorry I can't serve you. Fantastic, we had everything we wanted.